you know you tired when you tired of your own shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I was really tired of my own shit. Like, I'm a man of faith. So I really got on my knees. I asked God, if you can show me something different than what I'm doing now, I'll leave this stuff alone. And that's what we here now.
I've been watching a BT. Actually, it's on Netflix. It's a show called The Family Business.
Okay.
You know the black guys that got the hair cut all smooth in the lines, but they actually sprayed in the lines on the show.
Sure.
So if you're looking closely, you can spray in the line. You can look at the spray lines and
So
know
you
that
ain't even got to get no
right,
haircuts these
right.
days.
You don't
just
have
gonna
to.
Oh,
little
yeah.
They just
frame
put like a
thing.
frame and then just
And
go.
then-
So it was like black ice? Is that what it's called? Is it called black ice?
What the show?
spray?
No, the spray. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
I
it's
think
too
it
much.
might be black
So
ice.
my question for a male is, because we don't have a lot of males on our show,
Okay.
is when is it time to let it go?
Yeah.
Man,
Sometimes
listen,
you gotta
listen.
let it go.
When you start cow licking on that, or that parking lot coming at the top, man, it's time to go.
McDonald arches?
Yeah, it's time
Like,
to go.
yeah, there's
man.
something, because I feel that men definitely do. Women are more, oh, I'm gonna get a wig, or I'm just gonna cut it off or something. What's up, little man? You wanna come over here? No. Oh, he said no.
Nah, men to hang on to.
Men, yeah, they will hang on to it.
Yeah.
And and I love the what do you call it? The confidence men have, because they will go on a bathing suit, wear a bathing suit up in
Got
the
the
ocean.
stomach all out.
You can have a stomach out.
Hair. Well, when I'm saying stomach, I'm saying you got your dad bod out.
Yeah.
Like you got the beer belly going. You rocking it hard.
Yep. Hair everywhere.
Yeah,
And some people
exactly.
don't got consistent hair. They might got a
It's
patch right
sparse.
here.
It's
and a
sparse.
patch right here.
Yeah.
It's sparse. And they rocking it like it's like, it's it. So men are very confident, but if a woman came looking like that with hair patches
Yeah,
and a
everybody
stomach,
be like-
y'all will be hated. Oh, look at her.
No, we really accept that.
You accept hair? So if a woman had some chest hair, you be like, what?
I'll just probably snatch a few out of there.
That's your friend?
You know what I mean? Especially if my lady, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna body shame her. I'm like, baby, you gonna pluck a few of them out of
Yeah,
there.
but
Yeah,
when she
it's like
wanna
I
keep
got
them.
you, boo.
Whoops. Nah, you can't keep them.
Okay.
You cannot, especially my lady, you cannot.
put 'em
I
on.
understand hair grows.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women get hair in crazy places, but if you got chest hair, it's like,
You can't pull that.
we
Baby.
gotta, we gotta do something about that.
No chest hair.
Oh, no.
Okay, because I have a friend that, she got her chest hair and she wear it proudly and with a shirt showing and cleavage
Like, how
and all.
much is it a small
It's like,
flower,
women don't get the little patches. They get the little,
yeah,
The little
strands,
what is
yeah.
the what
so
is
little
it like
curly,
the,
like
the
Shirley
tendrils,
Temples.
the tendrils.
Yeah, little tendrils
Let me
going on
ask you-
right there.
Let
and
me ask
she
you,
rock
is she
it.
single?
She's never single.
Listen.
Never
So
single.
Never
me and
single.
my BFF Karen, we had went to the Tarjay.
What's
in
that? The
Target.
Okay,
Target.
Tarjay,
So we
okay.
go to the Tarjay,
Okay.
and it's this lady there, and she was like, had full beard,
Damn.
chest hair, and telling us about her boyfriend. So this is how I look at it. Girl, you got more than I got right now. I'm single, so I
Do you?
obviously need something that you
And you
got.
know what? I'm not hating on chest hair or hating on anything that, like, to me, some people have illnesses where they grow
can't
hair.
tan.
If I had an illness, I was growing hair, you better believe I would rock that
That's
hair
a
out.
thing?
Yeah, it's
It's a
actually,
thing.
it's
It
like,
is?
I don't know if it's a disease or something that
That they
causes
get
them
them
to
get.
yeah.
It's usually like, especially for women, it could be like increased testosterone or something in their
Oh,
system.
Yeah, and I would rock it.
Okay.
I would rock it. And
I
look
mean,
good.
if you can't help it, at least keep it lined up nice and
Yeah, yeah.
hit it with the razor.
groomed and all that stuff,
Make,
yeah.
At least make it look
Make
clean.
it look
I feel
good.
you. I feel you.
So, welcome to Falling Forward with the Ross sisters. I'm Dr. Christine Ross.
I'm
This
Carmen.
is Sis over here who goes by Carm. This is our cousin, business leader, boss up in here.
Okay, I'll take the titles. Okay.
Deep-rooted
here in
clothing.
KC. Y'all see we have a new background here. We're here in Kansas City, our city, where we was born and raised. This
Alright.
is how we rock it. So we're so excited to be here with Don.
Thanks for having me.
right
Thanks
now.
it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
First official podcast. I ain't mean to cut you off, but first official podcast. So I'm a little nervous. So if I stutter over words, don't hold it against me.
Oh, we will. Don't worry.
right, exactly.
And make sure that those clips are reserved for
Okay.
the reels.
Exactly.
All right,
Definitely.
all right.
We're gonna have the bloopers phase, and then
Okay.
because again, that's what. So what made you start Deep Rooted? So you have your clothing line,
Yes.
and what is the name? Because I love the name.
Okay, I came up with the name Deep Rooted because I am a Kansas City native. I am deep in my culture and I'm deep in my community, so I thought the name Deep Rooted would best fit the brand.
Yeah, I love it too. And then the logo too. Do we have anything with your logo on it with the
It
roots?
has the
You got the
little
roots from
Yeah.
the tree on there,
Yep, and it's
symbolizing strength and stability, and we here to stay, but got room to grow. So, yeah.
right about that.
No, I really love that because I feel like I've been like really, probably over the last 10 years, really into roots in general. But it comes from that whole fact is that the people who really down for you are in the roots.
I agree.
Like,
They're not in the
all-
leaves.
Yeah, they're not
Those
in the
leaves would
leaves.
shake
They're
off
not
with
in
the
the
wind.
branches, but
Absolutely.
they are in the
I
roots.
like that
So.
concept. Yes, I love that.
And they help nurture those roots too. You know, those people. So you got some people that like I guess the seasons come, you know. The leaf you got your friend leaves. Those leaves blow off when the season's over. And then they come back, different ones come back, you know. But the roots are always consistent, they're always growing, you know, unless it has some type of disease. But we ain't gonna talk about that. You know, we need to work on the foundation.
Yeah, we're
area.
doing the
Foundation.
positive.
Yeah,
we're
the
working on the
positive.
Absolutely,
positive.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do a clothing line in general though?
Really, it was my way to get out of the streets. I mean, prior to me starting the clothing line and, I mean, starting a brand for myself, I was in the streets. Like, this is my first official way to make a legit money, have a legit job, and, you know what I mean, lay a solid foundation for my kids, hopefully build that generational wealth. So, yeah, it was just my way of getting out of the streets, man. So, you know, the old saying is, you know you tired when you tired of your own shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I was really tired of my own shit. Like, the street life, people think, I mean, from the outside looking in, it's a lot of glitz and glamour. You see the fast, you see the cars, the women, the jewelry, but I mean, that shit really take a toll on you, like mentally, physically draining. Like, so I was just really tired, like deep in my soul tired. And I'm a man of faith, so I really got on my knees. I asked God, if you can show me something different of what I'm doing now, I'll leave this stuff alone. And that's what we here now. He planted that seed to start a brand, and I already knew it was gonna be some hard work, but I ain't no stranger to hard work. I know how to get out there and hustle. I'm a good businessman. I was a good businessman in my prior life and what I was doing in my past. So
Your street
my
entrepreneurship.
street entrepreneurship. I was good. I was good at it. You know what I mean? I ain't had no run-ins with the law, and I really didn't get into it with a lot of people. So I just really put that same mentality what I do in this and that hunger and that drive, and I switched lanes into the clothing business. And here we are now.
Well, and I think because even when you said clothing business, you're building a clothing business, but it really is you building a legacy.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and that's what we do, especially within the Black community. We try to build legacies, and I think sometimes within our entrepreneurship, we get into this competition with other Black businesses.
Crabs in the barrel.
Yeah, and
Yes,
we don't
it's room
realize,
for
you know,
everybody.
we only breaking ourselves down.
I agree.
Like nobody's in competition with Deep Rooted
Because
because
Deep Root is
it's your
yeah, it's
vision. It's what the Lord gave you. Can't nobody
Absolutely.
compete with it.
And I keep that mind frame too. Like, what God got for me is what God got for me. So I don't feel like, okay, whatever He doing, I don't really look at other brands and think of competition. I always look at them like, what's a way we could collab with each other? You know what I mean? And help each other grow, and
Yep.
your audience become my audience.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, that's why I
Yes,
look
we
at
can
it.
all that, and it's a shared wealth, and that's the problem too that I see with the Black community. There's a lot of haters, and the thing is that God has uniquely made each of us to do something unique that is
I agree.
specific to us. So there's nobody has competition because we get Nike, and we're also going to wear Adidas, and we're also going to wear Converse or whatever Puma or whatever you do. We all split around that.
And then it's enough money for everybody.
It is,
If
it
you got that hustle and that drive, it's gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
And you really got to be good to people, your customers, and just be an all-around good person in general. You know what I
you
mean?
do.
Because that energy bring that good energy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you look at it like, right here on this back block behind me, it's McDonald's, KFC, the Chinese restaurant, Taco Bell, all in the block radius, and they all making money.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's really enough money for all of us. It's just how much of a drive and how much you're willing to put into it.
Right.
That really kind of,
And let's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let's go back a little bit because I want to talk about a little bit about pre.
Okay.
Deep rooted, like before Deep Rooted was established. What was you? I know you said
Hold up,
that
I don't
you had
want
the
to say
street
pre-legacy. It's building the legacy.
building the yes, I like that building the legacy. Tell us a little bit about that past that you were talking about.
You talking about like, as far as like the street mentality?
Yeah,
or
like,
what?
yeah, what
like
did you
who
learn?
were you?
Yeah,
Who were
who-
you then?
To be honest, I didn't know who I was. I just know what I wanted to do, and I know I needed some money at that time. So as when I was growing up, my grandma raised 6 of us. I mean, my mama was in my life, but she was like heavy on drugs, and my dad, he wasn't really in my life. You know what I mean? So, as a young boy, you search for not positive, that male role model.
That family.
That you want somebody to look up to. You want somebody to be proud of when you do something. As a black man, as a young black man, that's what I yearn for. So, I went to the block, man, and I found one of the big homies who I looked up to. He was doing stuff I like. He had the fancy cars. He was making money, and I gravitated to that. And I wanted to be like that. So, in a nutshell, man, we started rocking really hard, and we was doing our thing, and then he got killed. You know what I mean? He got killed, and it's crazy because in the hood, it's a lot of trauma, a lot of brushed under the rug trauma, and I actually seen him like at least 10 minutes before he got killed. And then we went up there and seen him laid out. I ain't never, you know what I mean? It still play in my head to the day, like how I seen him laid out, and that really hung with me. It stuck with me.
How old were you?
I was like, probably like 16, 17. He was young. He was 24, 25 when he got killed. Yeah.
Baby had a lot of life.
Yeah, he did, man. He was a good person, man. So he taught me a lot for as like profits and losses, supply and demand. You know what I mean? Treating people right, treating the customers right. So I learned a lot from him, man. And RIP to him. And yeah, he taught me a lot of the game.
Well, you know, there's a lot of trauma that comes with the streets, too.
It do.
But there's a lot of trauma that comes with anybody's life. But for you to be
especially
16...
from a black perspective, because we're one of the only people who got to this country
in a traumatic way.
In a traumatic way.
Yeah,
We did not immigrate here.
I agree.
Right.
And we were brought
here.
here. We were sold here. So,
I agree.
so I feel like a lot of sometimes discount like that story is that we're coming from trauma.
We're growing up in trauma.
So when we talk about building a legacy, for people don't know, is that the majority culture, the majority white culture, a lot of them, they have historically have had some sort of money. Even the poorest of them is treated better than the richest of us.
Yeah, you know the bootstraps thing, like pull yourself by your bootstraps. A lot of the majority has boots already. They were born with boots. We weren't born with boots. We had to make these dang old boots, our own damn selves. And we had to pull them up.
Community,
And we have to keep them on. The thing is that we need to stop breaking each other's boots apart.
That's what it be. Yeah, it's like a crab in a bucket mentality, especially with the black culture. I don't know why we always in competition with each other. With business.
It probably comes from slavery because we were doing that. You got the house slaves. You got
get up in that house.
Yep, and you got the field slaves.
Like
it's like mentalities that's passed on from generation to generation. I know that, like for instance, some people call me bougie, and because I'm successful and I like nice things.
Right. And
that does not mean I don't like to be called bougie. Now I am bougie.
You take offense to that when somebody call you bougie?
Well, because it's not meant to be as a positive thing.
Yeah.
It really ain't though.
You bougie.
Right.
You're such a bougie
you
person.
right. Okay, I agree with you on that.
Feel good moment.
It's not.
But my thing is that I worked hard to where I'm at.
Absolutely.
So I worked hard to get nice things. Why are you hating on me? Why can't you be happy for me?
But it's also looking at the grass ain't always greener on the other side. And I say that because what someone might consider for us to be bougie is not what someone else covets. So other people, like everybody likes their own thing. And it's okay to like your own thing. You don't like, there's some people who won the lottery and what they got was that with the double wide. And they were totally content with their double wide. So why do we have to be in that place that we're always trying to crawl on top of one another and push somebody else down? Because I think what it comes down to at the end of the day is in that competition of being black, trying to grow within society, we learn the same things that the majority culture learned. So a lot of people say, like when we talk about police brutality, when you have a black cop, people are like, well, but he was black and he shot that black guy.
It's a
well, he was raised in the same systemic racial culture that everybody else was. So you then end up viewing people in one way, in a way that they're actually not. But it's just because we're breeding this fear. We bred this fear in slavery times that, oh, black men are going to rape and kill your women.
That's
Don't
where we
nobody
grew up,
want
man.
your women.
Oh, don't.
Love you. Like, I have all
we all
kinds
have
of
our
white friends.
preferences. Yeah.
I love all my white people for
Shout out
sure.
to my white boys. Nah.
Exactly.
Yep,
But I say that because we have to look at it as where are the stepping stones we came from, and we need to reorganize them because it's easier to break down a people who is not collected.
So do you think we too far gone from that?
I don't think we're too far gone from that. But what happens is when some people see people thriving within society, then you no longer my people.
Yeah.
Like, he done got above me,
Yeah.
or whatever. So he don't understand the struggle no more.
Wow.
And you, just because you're doing what you would consider better, which I would consider better too, because you have transitioned in the way that you want to transition in your life, that doesn't mean you don't remember where you came from.
Right.
And I think people forget that. It's like, when one of us is built up, all of us are built up.
Yeah,
They
and
don't
that's
look
what
at
we
it
try
like
to do.
that,
Yeah.
though.
And you were talking about, like, generational wealth, and we need to build that amongst our communities. We need to be business owners. Because if you go to my community, I live in St. Louis, Missouri. If you go into North County, St. Louis, Missouri, there's not going to be now one black business really.
Wow.
There's a whole bunch of, Asians, and you have the Middle Easterns. There's no black people owning their business, but we are franchising, we're purchasing, we're doing all this stuff, and we're not owning anything.
But do you think that's by accident or systematic?
It's systematic.
Right.
But it's also a mentality too, because I don't know a lot of black people that are trying to own businesses either.
Right.
That actually putting the foot in. Now, I do know a lot who do have it. However, like the average Joe, I'm not saying, oh man, I got to get this business running. No, I'm working for someone else.
So do you
They don't
think
have that mentality to be the boss all the time.
So do you think it's harder for black people in general to get those business loans, to get those loans in general?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Well, because when you think about it, you have to have some kind of that foundation, some kind of collateral. So, for instance, I own FaithWorks Counseling and FaithWorks Industries. I can get a loan easy.
Right.
However, it's because the company is built up and established.
If it wasn't,
If
then
it
she
was
wouldn't
not
be
built
getting
up and
that.
established, then what collateral do you have to provide?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So, why when other cultures, like we're gonna say the Iranians who own the
Middle Easterns
to
and
be in the
stuff, yeah.
gas stations, how can they come right over here? I mean, they don't got no collateral, right? Do they got collateral when they come over here?
When people come over here, when you think about actually immigrate here,
Yeah.
they have to have a to even get here, they have to have a system.
Okay.
So it is not just like, oh, I'm just coming to the U.S.
They have
you
to have
some
some-
cousins, some aunties,
Yep, that's
some
gonna
whatever
fund you
that is
or
funding
something
you
to
to
get
be
here.
over here.
And then when you come over here, they're sending their family over here to work for them.
Yeah.
Like, so they're not just like owning businesses. They're like, okay, now I'm going to bring my cousin here to work for
So
me.
you see how
I'm gonna bring my
tight-knit they
uncle.
are. You see how they work together.
Why can't we
Each
do that?
one teach one. I help, I'll pull you up. The next person come in, I'll pull you up. Like, why we can't like wrap our head around that as our black community?
Because we're not seeing us being successful unless we are rappers and all that stuff. I'm not saying in general.
Like, you
but
got to
I'm
be
saying
doing something big, seen in
extravagant.
the eye at
Yeah.
times.
You
for
don't see
people.
average people like us being notable
Okay.
in the community.
That has always baffled me. Like, I mean, you got the Chinese people, the Middle Eastern people, even the African people. When they come up here, they help people. They help their people up, man. We the only one that kind of be at odds with each other. You know what I mean?
That is.
And then we so quick to tear each other down.
Yes.
Let's take one of these restaurants, for instance. They can be selling good food all year round. One bad review, everybody going crazy on Facebook.
Yep.
I don't be liking that, man.
Well, honestly though, there was this one joint, it's a donut joint in St. Louis called Old Town Donuts. They had roaches. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. As soon as they opened up, I went back to them. I wasn't hating on them. But it was good food. Stuff happens.
Stuff
A roach
happens.
pops up sometimes.
Yeah.
It does happen.
I don't mean tear them down.
Don't
That's
tear them
true.
down. Hey,
don't
And
like
Carmen's
that,
right,
man.
because I had my back door open the other day, and I don't ever have roaches. And then one just trolloped up in
see
there.
what I'm saying?
I say, if we say this in all seriously, because what the cultures you're talking about are systemic cultures. They're collectivist cultures, and
we're
honestly,
not.
going back to where the foundation of even how community was created was based on that connection from one person to another. And what happened when we come over here,
was
when we're
disrupted.
brought over here, it is easy to put my words together. It's easier to keep a slave if they know nobody got their back. If you don't feel like anybody has your back, where else do you have to go but
Right.
to the master?
Yeah.
And that's why slavery was, even though slavery ended, there was a lot of people who were still in
Slavery
slavery because
mentality.
they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They had to.
Yeah,
How you
I
going to
heard
eat?
that.
Oh, well, you better go back to those fields.
Go back to
because
them
that's how you're
fields,
going
go
to
back
eat.
to master,
And I
yeah.
feel that too when it comes to the street culture too, is how you going to eat.
Yeah.
What you
but I
gonna
didn't
do?
think of
It's
I didn't think-
slavery
yeah.
of itself.
It really
and,
is.
and it's not. It's a voluntary slavery, but then your mind gets stuck
Yes.
into it.
That's why it's called
Yeah.
a trap.
It's a trap.
You're really trapped in that lifestyle and that spinning wheel, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to learn nothing new. You comfortable with what you've been doing.
It's easier.
It's easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
but the thing about that, I feel like the even richer part of it is people don't understand that your skills translated to outside of that
Yep.
business. So the skill is still there.
Right.
The potential is still there.
it is.
But
You just
until you
moved
get
it to
someone to
something
pull
else.
you out of it, that be like, you know, that kind of math you use is called algebra or accounting,
Yes.
or you know that skill you use is
Yeah.
in this sales thing when you look at master's programs or bachelor's programs. So I feel like we don't see ourselves as valuable, so we just think, oh, this is just how you do it, just because this is what the street
Right.
taught me.
And when
But
we name those
realistically,
skills,
this is what the world
Right.
looks at.
But then, you know, in order to thrive in the street life, you do have to have skills. And the thing is that if we can name those skills and put them to something that is actually legal, like she said, accounting or something, or sales, you know, those skills can translate
They
to
can.
another field, and it can be legal, and you can grow and you can be successful.
But the hardest part is starting
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
getting out of that. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
How
It's,
did you start?
man, like I said, I was tired.
But like the business, the deep
Like
rooted-
when you
I really sat down and wrote out a plan, cause I know nothing really goes, you know what I mean? Nothing really thrives, or you can't really do what you do without a plan. So I really I looked at the clothing brands in Kansas City and see what was what, and I really want to set myself apart from all these other brands. What the two brands I really noticed when I was doing it, which was Grind Addict and KC. And then I noticed they were selling T-shirts and hoodies and hats. I mean, that's cool when you first start out, but I want to be more than that. So that's why you see the sweatsuits and the active wear. I really want to have a brand. So that's really what I think separated me from all the other brands.
and you do wholesale too, so you
And
actually
then I
make
also,
this stuff.
yeah, so I also, but I started the manufacturing part because, I mean, I was always eager to learn something new, but I know this would be in the same lane as a clothing brand, what I was doing. So I'm like, dang, it was really a no-brainer. I'm really like bridging the gap from people, you know what I mean? Instead of you going over there and then hoping these people send your stuff, you can come to a reliable source.
this is part of our legacy here.
Yep, this is
Yeah.
a little legacy. Messiah, 3 years old. He said, huh?
No.
No.
No, 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 no.
Yeah. So this is, you know, when it comes down to it, sometimes you got to bring your kids to work and you got to do what you got to do.
Oh,
They
yeah,
got to
you gotta
see
do what you
you.
gotta do.
So now he's going to know that his father is a hard worker because he sees you work hard all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
And I think what it comes down when we look at little legacies like Messiah it is looking at what is modeled, because when we talk about, again, in those streets and being in those streets, it's your parents is hustling. You don't necessarily see that hustle because what they're like, hey, go home, get dinner, and I'll be home at XYZ time, or I'll do this at this time. So then it's like you kind of feel lost, even though they're trying to be on that grind for you. And I feel like I've seen in general from Black culture, it's the hardest working culture I have ever seen. And that's whether you in that street entrepreneurship or you in that legal entrepreneurship. It's
hard work.
about a hustle, and it's about even a presentation at some point, because I know, yes, I am Dr. Christine Ross. I wear it proudly. But I wear this outfit proudly
that's
too.
right.
Yeah.
Like you will rarely see me in suits or whatever. I am who I am. My given name is Christine Louise Ross, and that's where I go by. Like, so, but it does not take away that we still can have more. We can still be blessed with more, but it doesn't need to be based on the standards of others. It doesn't, like, if you want to go fly high and be in $1 billion mansion, you do you. If you were fine winning the lottery, having millions and being in a double wide, you do you. Let your standard be the standards that you need, and stop
Trying to be like
fighting for everybody else
Yeah.
what they got, because that ain't what
because
you need.
own stuff does, like, owning stuff, yes, that does prove a little bit of success. But the thing is that you can see some millionaires and they got some cheap shoes on.
Yeah, that's how they
would
dress.
just
They
walking
don't be all
around, you would
flamboyant
have
with
no
it.
clue, because we don't need to focus on materialistic things, because we find purpose in materialistic things. Hey, we're this type of person because we can own this. We're this type of person because we can own this. We need to get away from that, because that's not going to fulfill us. That's temporary stuff, because that stuff can break. Your car can get in a wreck. You know, you can lose it. Somebody can
So
steal it.
it holds no value.
It holds no value.
Holds no
At
value.
the end
But
of the day,
legacy, little ones.
Yeah.
You know, seeing your kid be successful.
Yeah.
That's what holds
That's-
value.
yeah,
To see your
absolutely.
family from something to nothing, from the streets to success.
Mm-hmm.
That is what holds value. And that's what sticks with us, and that's what helps us grow. Materialistic things does not help you grow as an individual
I agree.
in any way.
and those aren't the things that long term you even remember. I even think me and my friend Karen were talking about her needing to, like, declutter her stuff, and some of the stuff she held on to is because it was her sister who has passed, or her mom who has passed. But I told her, I was like, you know, for me, with Daddy having passed away, I hold on to what he taught me.
Right.
And it's one of those things that, you know, you see the behaviors modeled. So it's not just what they said, it is what they did with it. And I think a lot of that we have to kind of sit into and lean back into. It's like, well, when you actually die, what would you want?
behind?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
are you
Yeah,
leaving
what you
behind?
leaving?
What do you truly want people to say about you?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to be able to write your own obituary, it's not going to be like he had money, he had
All the
cars, he had all
jewelry,
this, all
yeah.
that stuff.
You never see that in your
Never
obituary.
see that.
It's like your success. You went to this school. You owned, you know, this business. Got married with this person. Had this many kids. You left around who
What type
you
of
left
man he
behind.
was, what type of
Yes.
father he was,
Yes, it's not
how
all.
loving he
Yep.
was.
It's not he's a
Yeah.
millionaire and
Nah,
he got
don't
$10
never be
billion,
in there, 'cause
because that stuff doesn't matter.
It sure
And that
don't.
doesn't bring nothing. And then, you know, you can tell the character of the person too, and how loved they are based on how many people come to their funeral. I'm not saying count that, because not everybody has a big, large group of people.
That means
But
something,
it
though.
does.
It really
yeah,
do.
So when you got people saying, like, I went to like my uncle's wedding. He got married recently. My uncle Al got married. And he was actually, what do you call a man who lost their wife?
A widower.
Widower. Yeah,
Okay.
widower. And I went to his wedding, and I swear it was about 500 people in his wedding. But that's how many people he's touched.
Mm-hmm.
So when you and then his wife's funeral, my auntie, she had the biggest funeral I've ever seen in my life. And that's how you know how many people you touched and how much marks that you have made in this world by each seed, because each person is a seed that you've given, because we all hold baskets of seeds.
I agree.
So each person, and then we just need to, like, our problem is we need to put that seed in the ground when we get a seed.
Yeah.
And build
we
a
hear
farm.
it. Yeah.
And have a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it goes back to, again, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Everybody's going to leave a legacy, but what does that legacy look like? What do you want your legacy to be defined by? And I think some people, especially as parents and as we get older, we really don't think about that, because we're in that hustle and bustle and we just trying to make it by. But when you actually get rooted, who do you want to be seen as?
Yep.
Who are you?
Yep, who are you? So, guys, this is going to be our first part 1 of this episode with Don. He's going to be in this for the next couple of episodes. So, thank you for coming to Falling Forward. We appreciate you. Thank you, Don, for being here.
Pleasure.
Can't
man.
wait
Thanks
till
for
the
having me.
next
Can't wait till the next
episode.
episode.
Okay.